for your presence here at Birchwood Hotel and Conference Center on the occasion of the annual NEC Lekgotla of the African National Congress. As somebody tries to speak to people at the back there, just to ensure that there's some silence. On the occasion of the annual Lekgotla of the National Executive Committee of the ANC, which is currently underway, day one, the Secretary General is going to make a few remarks regarding the objectives of the Lekgotla and other matters that you would wish to cover with yourself. Thank you very much. Over to you, Comrade SG.
Thank you very much. The members of the media, compliments and Happy New Year to all of you as we meet from Moruleng in the northwest. Today, the NEC convenes its Lekgotla at national and in the provinces to plan for the year ahead after January 8 and to assess implementation of previous Lekgotla decisions. The January 2026 Lekgotla takes place after the successful 5th National General Council in December 2025 and the 114th anniversary of the ANC with its January 8 statement setting out the political balance of forces and tasks and activities for the year. The year 2026 will be another challenging year with opportunities and political pitfalls. The most important political events domestically will be the 30th anniversary of the Constitution and the national dialogue, which will commence at the beginning of the year. By the end of 2026, local government elections will then take place. This Lekgotla takes place in the context of a global situation that remains highly volatile. The global right-wing agenda and actions to reshape the global order by the USA, heralding a phase of imperialist domination characterized by economic and military imperialism, buttressed by communications warfare. Other developments on the domestic front include economic green shoots, South Africa being removed from the FATF and European Union grey listing, 4 quarters of positive GDP growth, albeit at low levels, energy stability and signs of recovery of SOEs and the logistics sector. At the same time, the challenges of placing the country on a sustained positive trajectory to reduce poverty, unemployment and inequality. 4 years to the 2030 target of the National Development Plan remain the major issues impacting on public trust in democracy and on nation building and social cohesion. Although the ANC adopts an annual program of action and in this term of office we do annual reports on work done, we still have issues around consistency, coordination and accountability of the implementation of our programs we agreed to in Lekgotlas. In this regard, an updated ANC year plan, once we have adopted the program of action from Lekgotla, is critical, especially since we're in the year which can be characterized as the year of the elections. Our January 8 statement theme is the marching order. The theme that says decisive action to fix local government and transform the economy. This then frames our approach to the January 8 Lekgotla and the ANC program of action for 2026. And This is guided by 6 key tasks: fix local government and improve basic services, speed up economic transformation, inclusive growth and job creation, wage war on crime and corruption, GBVF as a national disaster, build a South Africa that belongs to all through the national dialogue and the 30th anniversary of the Constitution. Make organizational renewal visible and irreversible, build a better Africa and a better world. So all our commissions will be focused on these key tasks that will be undertaken. The objective of this Lekgotla is to provide a framework for the ANC Program of Action 2026 based on the January 8 theme and tasks and the 5th National General Council plan for 2026. This Lekgotla also is about to ensure that the framework addresses implementation roles and accountability of organizational structures, leaders and members and government deployees at all levels, and provides for coordination and reporting. Thank you very much.
Thank you, SG. I am taking quick questions. Sunday World.
Oh yes, thanks, Smatleng, SG. Good afternoon. SG, have you done the postmortem of the January 8th? And if you did, what is the outcome of that postmortem? Secondly, SG, there's a lot of talk around the Joburg ANC Regional Conference, so a lot of reports about police being involved. Can you please clarify what is the state of affairs with regards to the outcome of the ANC Joburg Regional Conference? Thank you.
Thank you very much for the question. January 8, in terms of execution and evaluation, a report will be given in the regular NEC meeting. But overall, January 8, from our side, in terms of attendance and delivering the statement, it was a success because we achieved the objective of what we want to achieve. We wanted to go to rural Northwest. We achieved that. With all the logistical challenges and the environmental pressures of climate change we witnessed, the heat and all of that, our January 8 was well attended. As you would have all seen, the debate about stadiumology is not something we want to venture into because all of you were present and you saw what happened there, that in terms of the logistics, the area itself was a big challenge for the ANC. And we took time even to leave, and some of the people could not even reach the stadium because of attendance. But nonetheless, it was a great success. And thanks for covering our event and being present, except your mischief of dragging us into stadiumology about whether the stadium was full or not full and all of that. And of course, everything did not start on time as planned. We did explain on the platform of the January 8 why the rally started late is because of the traffic and people coming into the stadium, and we started late when we were supposed to have started at 10 o'clock, but eventually we started and everything went well. Issues you are asking are operational. There is no issue with regard to the Joburg conference. It did take place. There are, however, complaints that were raised which we are attending to. There's no police involvement. Police get to be involved from time to time when we need extra manpower. So should that be required, we will involve the police in terms of safeguarding the ballots if there is a need to do a recount. At the present moment, there is no such. We are attending to the complaints as they've been raised with the Secretary General. Myself and Hope in Gauteng, we are attending to those. But there's no issue with regard to the Joburg conference. It did take place, and we had deployees there. like any other normal process, like it happened in Limpopo. There were complaints, we attended to them. Even in Joburg, we're doing the same. So we have not established a commission of inquiry or anything of that sort. We are responding to the complaints because the Electoral Commission made public pronouncements on the electoral processes and the interventions that they have made, and that prompted reaction. Before that, there was no issue. Everybody had accepted the outcome and all of that. So in the middle of December, they called a press conference to make pronouncements. So they've got to respond to the complaints that are raised by the structures and individuals who attended the conference. So the Secretary General is attending to that matter at an operational level. And then I think very soon it will be water under the bridge, but we are focused.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
ENCA.
All right, thank you so much, Moloko Moloto here, Mr. Madula. Still on the Joburg issue, just to clarify, are the issues that have been raised with you relating to the use of money, which is a matter that was lamented by the former chairperson of Joburg, Tata Marero, who said money really is a problem, or you made an allusion to the issue of ballot? Was it a matter of ballot? Perhaps the counting was the problem in regard to counting. If you can just be specific. But the second question relates to the remark you made that the challenge in terms of implementation of program relies really with failure to implement. Where lies the problem? Is it on the side of you as the political leaders in the ANC reining in, or the problem lies elsewhere in government where people are not willing to be reined in?
In terms of implementation, we have now sequenced the question of how we are going to implement the program of action arising from this Lekgotla. It will be the first quarter, second quarter, and at the end. So quarterly, there will be an evaluation of the implementation of work as directed by the January 8 statement that we must fix local government and at the same time ensure that there is economic growth. So based on the program of action coming out of this Lekgotla, we should be able to monitor that work. That work already started with the roll call and the 10-point plan of local government intervention. So we will be in a position throughout the year to evaluate, report, and intervene. It is called monitoring and evaluation. So our capability as the ANC is being sharpened, but equally we are accompanying that with consequence management. Where implementation is lagging, what do we need to do? It's not always to replace people, but we can bring extra capacity or we can change people. And an example is at eThekwini, where we appointed Cyril Kaba, and then the president on the side of government appointed a task team that deals with support in terms of capacity of local government in eThekwini. So that is the sort of mechanisms that we are going to strengthen once the program of action is adopted post this conference. Allegations that are made and complaints and so on, if they are not tested, they remain rumors. We heard about money and all of that, but there's not been tested that indeed money exchanged hands. We're very much encouraged at the end of the conference when even those who lost in the conference accepted the result. Like I explained to you, the issue of electoral outcome come as a result of the mishap of the Electoral Commission, where they made a public pronouncement on the outcome and the fact that they were intervening to address gender parity. So that's the complaint relates to that. And all other issues that have been raised with the Secretary General, I have received all those complaints and I've sent them to the Electoral Commission, which include NEC members, members of the provincial task team, to respond to those issues that have been raised and so on. So they will respond and then report back to the Secretary General about their response, and then the SG will then communicate with the complainants. So we should be in a position to complete that work in a week's time.
SABC, and then I'll come back this side. I just need to take care of this side as well. SABC.
Okay, so Mr. Mandela, just as a follow-up to Nawande and Luca's question, especially on Johannesburg, can you confirm that you have received that letter that was sent to Babo? You were copied in it where the former chair, Dada Morero, had raised a conflict of interest regarding Nolutando White, saying that she's the head of the elections committee, but she also worked under Loyiso Masuku. Last year, you promised to give us the outcomes or the results of the local government barometer, the ANC's assessment of the various local municipalities. What can you tell us so far?
No, we will.
And then just one more. The proposal that perhaps the ANC should look outside of the party for its mayoral candidates, how's that being received?
Well, the ANC will look at all possibilities. The national officials have been given a mandate to deal with the appointment of mayors, and then we are working now on the framework that will guide the officials in executing that work. That work is still in works, but we are gearing ourselves up, including the guidelines that we have adopted in terms of the processes of appointing candidates for local government at the ward level and so on. So to us, this is going to be a wall-to-wall campaign, and that is what we're going to do. The framework will guide, of course. I don't know when you say outside, what do you mean? Anyone who will stand on the ANC platform will be ANC people, but at the same time, our process in itself, it infuses the element of public participation. So the framework of the mayors will also take that into consideration. But the officials have been given a task which have been endorsed by both the NEC and the National General Council that the officials must then execute. And then your other question, Donald Trump. Oh, okay.
The letter.
The local government. We are going to report quarterly. We couldn't because of events of General Council, Muruleng. Now, in the next couple of weeks, we're going to give you our first report, public, about local government and the performance of the ANC in all municipalities and the consequence management intervention in different provinces with regard to the execution of the 10-point plan, and at the same time, the quarterly report in terms of service delivery on the ground. And that yeah, no, we received the letter, we are attending to it, and the complaints that are there. And I'm not going to respond, single out one issue that the chair is related to who and all of that, lest we be prejudiced, should there be litigation in the process. So I can only assure you that that letter is received and the SG is attending to the content of it.
Business Day and then newsroom.
Sorry. Okay, my name is Tanda Michael from Business Day. Earlier this week, SG released a circular regarding campaigning for 2027 internal elections of the ANC, saying that ANC members should stop campaigning, public campaigning, at least until after the local government elections. But it seems like that train has already bolted. Do you think it's a little bit too late? I mean, we saw a song released in your name earlier this week as well.
Let me say to you that there is nothing that have bolted. We know that people discuss issues of leadership and all of that. There's nothing that has bolted. Anyone who's going to produce T-shirts, support wrongdoing, the ANC will deal with those people in terms of the discipline. This is not the time. We are aware that people are discussing leadership choices and all of that, and they liaise with you as the media. And because you like the subject, you pep it up all the time. But from the point of view of the movement, the issue of succession of leadership is closed. it will be opened at the right time. Mischievous characters who don't understand the moment we are in, overzealous individuals who don't care about the movement except their own personal interest, don't understand the moment we are in. Nobody says that they don't have a choice. If you have a choice, you will have enough time to motivate to campaign for that person. In the year 2027, the National Executive Committee will open for that particular discussion. At the present moment, root and branch, we are focused on the task of ensuring that the ANC live up to the expectations of our people and that the ANC does well above 40% and beyond in terms of local government elections. There will be no 2027 without 2026. So before you get to 2026, you must pass. Before you get to 2027, you must pass to 2026. So question of songs that are composed by people in my name and all of that, they are very nice. Bob Marley and so on. And then they say good things about me. I know there are people who say that you must be president, you must be this and that. They sang for me here in the General Council, receiving the report that I presented. It doesn't get into my head. The moment will come to discuss these issues and for me to reflect and to pronounce myself in relation to those particular matters. But we cannot lead our movement above our interests. We need all hands on deck, unity of purpose. People must wait with their candidates. And we don't want to single one candidate. We saw T-shirts being produced. But those T-shirts, if we find them in our branches, we've given a clear instruction to our structures that individuals who are going to undertake those activities in the name of the ANC, we are going to deal with them. There was such individual in Limpopo. We brought him to the discipline of the party. Somewhere in Beggarsford, who was making pronouncements as a branch leader, we have taken him through the disciplinary process. Any member of the ANC who deviate and all of that and then undertake the mission of engaging in activities that are not sanctioned by the party, that relates to the issue of succession, those activities can only be characterized as disloyal and anti-revolution and anti-party activities. And they will be dealt with as such. And even individuals who are involved, they must disown such activities if they are undertaken in their name. And I know this notion that, no, you know, we must start early so that in 2027 we are on top. It doesn't work like that. Start early for what? When we are faced with an existential crisis. If the ANC is wiped out in local government because energy, focus, strategy was focused on pepping up individuals to lead the ANC, and we know what succession can do, T-shirts, songs, money circulation and all of that, in no time, branches will be off in terms of the tasks and members of the ANC focused on who then leads the ANC. So we know what we're doing and our membership have agreed with us, and at that time will come. So anyone who undertakes this thing of leadership, succession and debate, that person doesn't love the movement. In fact, those people, their credentials and bona fides are questionable, so to say. Because we have never said that they will not have an opportunity to raise their candidates, talk about them, how good they are, how lovely they are, and all of that. And we are also going to address the issue of money, because there will be consequences with regard to that. You circulate money here and all of that in your name. We find it in the structures. You'll be disqualified as a candidate. There will be consequences. Because we are not going to allow the ANC to be run with money, underground, dirty money. We're not going to allow that. If money is circulating in the branches and we find it in your name, the framework must include consequences, including the disqualification of people who are doing such things, including T-shirts. These people have got money for T-shirts. We don't have money to even pay staff. But there's money all the time. When individuals have got to stand, I'm at Lutulia House, I don't get paid. But people have got money for T-shirts. They want to use the ANC as a vehicle and a platform for their own personal aggrandizement. But they don't want to service the ANC to become a sophisticated, well-oiled machinery to serve the people of South Africa. But for their interest, they do have money. So there is money here. There is money. It's in abundance and all of that. But we were in Moruleng, we didn't have money. We are everywhere, every day, we don't have money. But when it comes to individuals and their interest, there is money. ANC members, wherever they are in majority, I can tell you they understand and they appreciate this moment. Individuals who are perpetrating these activities, majority of them, they are not even in branches. They are employed by factions to undertake the mission of popularizing them. If you want to be a leader by obeying the rules of the organization and lead by example and allow members to discuss you. Why you must be president, why you must be SG, why you must not be. And allow them at the end to elect delegates who will determine who must then be elected based on their conviction politically. So that we don't have surprise candidates. We are not going to have surprise candidates. Each candidate will be discussed. And that is going to be opened. What is the hurry in 2026 when we are facing a mammoth of task of elections? And then we just deal with this particular issue and all of that. It's a deviation. It's infiltration of the highest order. It has got all the hallmarks of counter-revolution. Counter-revolution will want to elevate the issue of succession because they know if you want ANC attention and its members, the task and the most important subject that members like is succession. Who must lead? So we must intervene, guide our members that this is not the time to engage in such debate. Yeah.
After newsroom, I'll go to Sunday Times. Are you sorted? Okay, then I'll go to Thorwell. You'll be the last. I'm really indulging you.
Sure.
She's fine now.
All right.
She's covered.
Is fine.
Oh, she's fine.
I'll ask on their behalf.
I'm asking. Oh, thank you, SG. Please address specifically the allegation regarding your own candidacy. The claim that you are almost exclusively addressing all ANC events, seldom giving an opportunity to the other officials. Therefore, seem to be running a single horse race for the presidency. It may not be true, but address it. And secondly, in your response to Mawande, you seem to suggest that the logistical mismanagement outside the venue in Moruleng led to what appeared to look like a half-full stadium. But doesn't that also point to perhaps the ANC's lack of organization, because other parties also have events but they don't bring a town to a standstill? We saw potholes being filled at night, midnight, people sweeping streets hours just before the event. And also finally, an update on what you announced previously, that there will be a reconfiguration of the GNU or expansion, if you may.
Yeah, you'll remind me of some of the questions. Let me start first with the issue. I'm Secretary General of the ANC. I can address 15 events in a day. I'm not a candidate. Yes, I'm not a candidate for presidency. If you perceive me, whenever I go as the Secretary General to address ANC activities, I'm doing them on behalf of a faction. I'm not a faction. I address events sanctioned by the ANC. I was addressing January 8 in the Free State as the Secretary General of the ANC. And people saying there about me that I in a pula. That doesn't get into my head. You were here. I was addressing the General Council. Was that a factional event? When people sang about me? Yeah, that I'm the SG who've got content. So in the presence of officials, they also sang. President, deputy president. Does that get into my head? That, hey, these people want me to be president. It has not been tested. Do people talk about me? They do talk about me. But that doesn't get to my head. I can't encourage ANC structures to talk about me and campaign for me to become president. I'm derailing the ANC. I can't be a hypocrite. But the fact that I go, ANC leaders are not the same. I can go with Mahlengi to an event, and then he addresses and sit down, and then I speak, I give a vavavoom that people can feel me more than her. Does that make me better than her? Is she not a leader? She is. When Mandela was leaving, people didn't know Thabo Mbeki. They said, who's this man who's going to fill the shoes of Mandela? And Mbeki said, I can't fill Mandela's shoes, they are ugly. You know? And then Mbeki was not known as a people's person, so to say. Who was known in the ANC? Krisani. People wanted Krisani even at a conference and all of that. But Mbeki then became the best leader of the ANC. But he was not known as this person who gets into platform, address people, but he became the best leader. So leaders are not the same. I deploy everybody in different activities of the ANC. I can only respond to your question in summary by saying it's gossip and rumor mongering. And that is detrimental to the image of the ANC, and slowing us down on gossip, rumor mongering, that does not add value, you know, to the success story of the African National Congress. That people want me to be president will be tested next year, and you will also know about whether I stand as president or not. And that is why every time Gwede Mantashe pronounces that no, he's not coming back, and the Women's League says they want a woman president, I rain on them. I say, you are opening this debate. Who said people are interested whether you are going or coming? You will pronounce that next year, that me, I'm not available. And there will be many. There are people here who meet with 2-3 people and they convince themselves, hey, I want to buy young phone. Who said you are wanted? And then they come to you and you write headlines. Mahlengi is touted for president. How do you know? Who has touted you? Because structures must pronounce on that particular matter. Muruleng, my brother. Yeah, Kelendo. The stadium was full. There were buses in and around. You know, I don't have a blue light. I left the stadium because of traffic 12 midnight. Because of traffic getting out of the stadium. That stadium, in terms of its location, logistically and all of that, it has got challenges. You can't take an event of January 8 nature of the ANC to that small stadium. Traffic, there's one route in, one route out. You are right. Potholes were being fixed when we were there. I mean, that shouldn't be the case. That shouldn't be the case. They must be fixed every day. They must not be fixed because we're fixing the stadium for us. We are going back to Muruleng to address the concerns of the communities in and around Muruleng that were raised. If there were potholes, they should have left them for the rally. But like a funeral in your village, you will ask municipality to fix the road and all of that. And they were fixing the road to enable traffic and cars to pass to the stadium. But it gives a wrong image. I will admit to you, it gives a wrong image. Mahlengi will be the first to admit it gives a wrong image. We fix things for ourselves, not for the people. And the people there in the village will say, but we have been having these potholes and all of that and so on, witness climate change and the rains, and potholes were not fixed. They come here for a rally, then the potholes are fixed. It's a wrong perception, and we have condemned that. We have condemned that, and they justify it that no, we're fixing it because of traffic, opening up the road, and all of that. It's understandable, but not in the eyes of the public. The believability of the ANC is critical in terms of in the eyes of the people. And that is why we're going back to Muruleng, those villages and all of that, where we went as a build-up to address all the concerns, water and so on, that were actually raised. And then what is your next question, Kaiser Chiefs?
GNU expansion.
Okay, GNU expansion. That matter is in the works. GNU is operating very well. There are no challenges. We went to the clearinghouse. So it's a decision which is in the works, and at the same time, we are just in a good space. GNU is functioning properly. Ministers must do their work. Government must be led. There is stability in the country. I've read in the statement the green shoots in relation to the economy. FATF were off the grey list, and the European listing as well were off. And then the GDP growth in the last quarter has actually been registered. This is just good news. If I were to quote Bonang, Khomonati, you know, nati in our country, and there are prospects that except that destabilization called Donald Trump breathing on our neck. That's the only thing that is coming our way. But we can't help it. If it comes, we will defend our sovereignty. On the 21st of March, we will line up 100,000 people in the streets to defend South Africa's sovereignty. South Africa's sovereignty against bullying by the United States. You will be there, I'll be there. 21st of March, Human Rights Day, the ANC and its allies will lead the march in defense of democracy. 30 years of our constitutional democracy. We've got nowhere to go. Herbesoff has got 3 passports or 2. That is why he's a loud mouth, opening his mouth about us and the fact that we must be sanctioned. We're not afraid of America's sanctions, but we know those sanctions will be unjust. We're a democratic state. Here in South Africa, we constituted government, including with our opponents, within 14 days. We are a constitutional democracy. The ANC has not ascended to power through dictatorship. It has done so through the popular mandate of our people. And that's why we value that 40%. And we've got a government of national unity. He tells us that we must be sacrificed to Donald Trump and all of that. We've got nowhere to run. This is our country. We don't care about America, going to America, but we know American citizens will see an injustice meted against us. We can't be compared to anybody. Herbesoff has got to be who he is because there are certain things he wanted from government. He wanted me to give him an airport in Cape Town. I can't give that lousy fellow who doesn't have money and portray himself as a billionaire. He must showcase his billionaires. I mean, Rupert went out of this country and defended the sovereignty of South Africa because he understands the importance of South Africa. As an Afrikaner, you know, you always shout, Rupert, Rupert, Rupert. But Rupert, as an Afrikaner, a businessman who probably does not even like the ANC, but for South Africa, went out and defended this country. This fellow, wherever he wake up from his drunken stupor, he's on our case about South Africa, about this and that. We're a democratic state. We can't be threatened by drunkards and druggies. Druggies can't threaten us. And I didn't mention a name, I'm just saying. People who take drugs, cocaine, and wake up and want to guide the constitutional democracy can't guide us. They can only guide their fellow druggies who must be taken to rehab in order to recover. Democracy and politics of this country can't be driven by druggies. People who take drugs sniff cocaine. And whenever they are high, they insult democracy and the ANC. ANC is not infallible. Doesn't mean it's a party that cannot be criticized. We get criticized because there is what is called sense of incumbency. There are things that are happening under our watch that nobody agrees with, others do agree. It is the task of the ANC to mend itself, and at the same time to be on the path of leading this democracy and not chasing people who criticize us. We don't have a challenge with that. And even when you say there are potholes, there's this and that, we are here now plotting the way forward, implementation. We know that the people are not going to vote for slogans. They are going to vote for what they know and what they see. And the ANC must then, lead as a party in order to come back.
This is the very last one.
Yes, thanks, Ms. Matleng. Just a quick final one. There were serious allegations made by a former cabinet minister sometime last week, Dion George, against another cabinet minister, John Steenhuisen, to say that he is captured by criminal elements. I know they are from a different party, but they are in the cabinet that you lead as part of the government of national unity. Is that a matter, as we emerge from days of state capture and the ongoing commissions to look into such infiltrations, is that a matter that must just be let go from your perspective? But lastly, just to seek clarity, when did Hersov ask for a terminal at an airport? Was it during your time as transport minister?
He did ask it from me. I met him at Investec. He did ask it from me, and that's what he wanted. And then he said he's organizing global finance, all the nonsense that he claims to have. This guy supposedly have inherited wealth from his forefathers or whatever that it is. And then he parades himself as a billionaire. The billionaires that we know, even Forbes can prove, is Johan Rupert, is Motsepe, and all of that. This one we don't know. He just parades himself as having a lot of money, and then he verbose a diatribe, all the time, and then he's given platform to do so. So that's what that one I pack it, and so on. So you want to know? We can't venture into what is happening in the DA. Dion George, if he's got whatever allegations against his own party, and now that he have parted ways with them, we will want to know about this corruption. South Africans want to know about it. And that's what is important. But leaving a party, we've got people who have left us every day. Why should I entertain DA squabbles? We have people here in the ANC who have left us and stolen our property and everything and our heritage and left with it. Why should I be worried about Dion George? He must solve his issues with the DA, and that is it. And so we are more concerned about, we are not kowtowing others and then being opportunistic on what happened to them. We are focused on uniting the ANC, leading the African National Congress. What happens in the DA happens in the DA. It's their implosion. It's their own squabbles. We have ours here in the ANC of people who threaten us about leaving from time to time. Others have left, and then have political parties commented about people leaving the ANC. They've not. And then they actually celebrate what they characterize the implosion of the ANC. So if those members who leave from other parties see the ANC as their political home, they are most welcome. So what happens in other parties is their business. We are building the African National Congress and breathing life to communities and the society in terms of the priorities we have identified for ourselves. Thank you.